Now, the other Pokemon you get on this route is Rattata. Honestly, it's not that good of a Pokemon. I really just don't like it hardly at all. It does get some good moves later on, like Super Fang, which lower your opponent's HP by half, though, but really, I don't recommend picking up a Rattata for your team no matter what starter you choose. Pidgey I somewhat recommend if you just happen to like Pidgey, but Rattata I don't recommend for anybody. Next up we have Raticate here. Didn't recommend Rattata in the beginning of the game, don't recommend Raticate now, even if I am scared to death of them. Next up is Rattata. Has a very shallow move pool, not a very good Pokemon. Some people use it as an HM slave. Personally, I don't. Raticate is just the evolved form of Rattata, which we've covered before. A lot of people consider this a good HM slave. Personally, I think the Senret family is better. It learns good moves, but its stats kind of hinder it.
Raticate! This is another example of a Pokemon that I think would be good if it appeared earlier. It's just that Raticate appears very late here. Its starting moveset's about what you'd expect out of Raticate. I guess Refresh is okay on it as an exclusive move. I wouldn't say it's great, especially when you can just use items. And, yeah, Raticate, it's the fast evolution of Rattata with Guts being the better of its two abilities. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. That's pretty much it. Raticate! I know what you're thinking, but despite the weak preconception I'm sure you have, Raticate actually has a few solid things going for it this time around. Not amazing, but halfway decent when Guts is going. Unfortunately, it has to get the Flame Orb or Toxic Orb from the Battle Subway to make that happen, so that is a bit of a barrier to using it. If you can, though, using Return with Raticate hits for a lot of damage when it's combined with these tactics thanks to the same type attack bonus. Super Fang is a great move that not many Pokemon learn, and it even has Sucker Punch and Crunch naturally. Surprisingly, it also is compatible with the TMs for U-Turn and Wild Charge, meaning that it has actual type coverage for once in its little life. The biggest negative that I can think of is that it can't use many compatible special attacks for beans. But if you need a physical attacker and Raticate sounds fun and you've never tried it before, honestly, you could do a lot worse. It's easy to find at a high level, and it's miles above the mediocre user of nothing but normal and dark type moves that it used to be. Not horrible.
Raticate! This is a Pokemon with some very strong points and some very weak points. Guts is an astounding ability, and you'll be able to get either a Toxic Orb or Flame Orb for free to make this ability work passively and block unwanted incoming statuses. Complementing this is good speed and pretty good attack. It gets Swords Dance immediately from a Heart Scale, so it lucked out being in the Move Reminder's hometown. It even comes knowing Sucker Punch, an 80 power priority dark type move that activates if the enemy is about to attack. It can learn U-Turn, Zen Headbutt, and Wild Charge even. There's more type coverage here than the usual Raticate fare due to the very specific TMs that are available. Unfortunately, I would say that Raticate is still outclassed by other users of Guts around here, and it hardly ever gets to switch in due to its normal type and flimsy bones. At any time, we can find Rattata! What a total wet hanky this first route is. I guess that's what you get for wanting a serious team member on the first frickin' route. Rattata is pretty speedy, and it has some pretty strong physical power, if you can activate its ability, that is. And the items that can forcibly enable it are pretty far off. You'd have to willingly get burned or poisoned and just not heal up at a Pokemon Center. Otherwise, it's just kind of there. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever or anything. It gets Crunch and even Sucker Punch with that tiny little paw that it can look forward to. It gets Swords Dance surprisingly early for an ice buff. It's alright, I just think it's better to use mostly any other normal type, or any other physical attacker, or any other Guts user. Basically every normal type gets a strong anti-ghost option, so it isn't exactly creative or new. Raticate! The Ecruteak Gym Leader is Ghost type, while Raticate is normal and has bites. If you need a last minute Pokemon to make the upcoming gym free, then this is what you need.